Welcome to the Eat Better, Move Better, Live Better podcast presented by Flourish with Tracy, where we'll dive into the realms of holistic wellness, plant-based nutrition, yoga, and self-care to help you live your best life. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our special segments. Meditation Monday, start your week with mindfulness. Wellness Wednesdays, get the midweek boost you need. Sadhana Saturdays, dedicate weekends to personal growth. Join us as we explore and discuss all things to eat better, move better, and live better. Welcome. The author Anais Nin is quoted as saying, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." That's a great definition for the concept of perception bias. Today, we're going to talk about how perception bias shapes reality for us through how we view it and how we can move from illusion to insight. Perception bias is a mental shortcut where we interpret situations based upon our past experiences, emotions, or beliefs rather than objective truth. Perceptive bias reminds us that our inner world shapes our outer experience and is often unconscious but deeply impactful. The practice of understanding and identifying our biases and how they shape our perception can lead to moving away from illusion and embracing the ability to see clearly from within. This transition or shift would be considered insight. Perception biases shows up all the time, and sometimes we misinterpret things. So, for example, someone's neutral face may be perceived as unfriendly based on your mood, your history, your interpretation based on your experience with that facial expression. And sometimes we believe we are not good at doing something because of a previous challenge, or we may be comparing ourselves to others, and this is self-judgment. One way to address perception bias is through the practice of yoga. Yoga is not just physical postures, it's a journey inward. Through breath, movement, or stillness, we learn to objectively or externally observe and shift our mind's filter. It helps us address Maya, which is illusion, the veil of illusion that distorts reality. Avidya, ignorance, a concept of not realizing our true nature, being distracted by a distorted perception or a root of suffering. The monkey mind, it's the restless distraction where our mind jumps from one thought to another, creating impulsive judgments or assumptions. And understanding how the mind fluctuates all the time. And the practice of yoga is to still, to quiet all of these thoughts so that we can see things more clearly and more truthfully. Perception bias can impact and affect our health. When we have biased thoughts, it can lead to chronic overthinking. This activates stress responses and harms our nervous system, resulting in anxiety. We can have a self-image which is negative, as we're constantly perceiving ourselves as not enough or comparing ourselves unrealistically, and this can lead to depression, low self-esteem, and body tension. We may be so distracted that we ignore our internal natural intuition, where we allow external beliefs to override our inner wisdom. We may neglect rest or nourishment or our emotional needs. And these thoughts or perceptions can influence our daily choices. It can impact the foods we consume, believing that some foods are bad without even tuning into how they impact or affect our body. It can lead to a dysmorphic view of ourselves and disordered eating. And if for any reason you feel overwhelmingly preoccupied with a perceived flaw in your physical appearance, and it is impacting how you consume a food, please seek out care with a medical professional to talk through this perception, because it may result from a combination of issues from body image, family history, trauma, and may lead to severe ailment if left untreated. Perception bias can also lead to avoiding self-care practices, thinking like, I don't have time, or I'm not worth it, or I'll never achieve this blank based on your perception or bias. It keeps us from doing what's truly nurturing. And misunderstanding our relationships as we judge others' behaviors or the relationships of others through our own emotional filters. This causes unnecessary conflict or distance. When we have a perception bias with our ability to do something, we may believe that we're not going to achieve a specific goal, especially if we had past experiences with struggle, or we notice someone else struggling, not realizing that growth takes time and that we should avoid judging our ability against someone else's or judging ourselves too early, not respecting the time any process may take, and leaving self-doubt out of the room. And also believing that being still will result in being unproductive. Sometimes we just need to be still. Take a moment to stop, to go within, to really think through any choices that we're about to make so that we can respond instead of react. Because we realize in our fast-paced societies, we've been conditioned to equate stillness with being lazy or slow, yet we forget or ignore the power and the ability of just being still to heal and to clarify and fine-tune our perceptions so that we can make decisions based on truth instead of perception. And then once we've begun to realize that we can shift and we have the power over how we perceive things, we can change negative perception bias. There are a few practices within yoga that also embody this. The first one is called pratyahara. It's mindful awareness, withdrawing your senses from external distraction, back to standing still, quieting down. It helps you become of mental patterns and biases. Meditation, dhyana. When you sit with thoughts without reacting, you build the skill to be quiet, to be able to externally observe your biases instead of being ruled by them, taking back your power and control by quieting the mind, peeling back all of the layers of chatter and distractions. You can shift negative perception bias through pranayama, breath work, or working with your energy channels. Slow, conscious breathing regulates your nervous system. It reduces emotional reactivity, and it begins and initiates the path to mental clarity. You can create this in conjunction with any of the other steps. You can always connect to your breath. You can always stand still and be aware. And this leads to swadhyaya. It's self-inquiry. You can journal or ask yourself questions through your breath work or your meditation or your awareness. Is this true? Or where does this belief come from? Uncover and heal any hidden biases you have. Understanding that you may think or feel a certain way about a certain thing comes from a childhood experience or something that you acquired through work, family, relationships, or observations. You can continue to look at the same thing more than once and ask, is it true? Because just because you experienced it, it still may not be true. Is it true for you? And be honest with yourself. And if it no longer rings true, even if it did before, this is an opportunity to heal it. And you can do this through the beginning of the practice of sankalpa, affirmation and intention. And you can repeat your chosen truth. For example, I see myself and others clearly and compassionately. This helps you to rewire your thought patterns and to rewrite limiting narratives. And you can physically move your body with heart-opening postures and stretches to encourage vulnerability and to release judgment. Balancing postures cultivate present and a grounded focus. It helps you increase and improve the ability to stand still or to sit still. It also supports a meditative practice, as regular meditation helps develop witness consciousness. And this is to see thoughts without attaching to them. Seeing your thoughts as external, removing the power our thoughts have. And then practicing mudras. This is where you allow the fingers and the thumbs to touch, promoting calm and introspection. So I'd like you to join me in a brief meditation. Sit comfortably, allowing your body to rest. And I'd like you to embody the insights from your personal lens. I'd like you to invite inner observation. I'd like you to be truthful and tap into being aware of yourself, and where it is appropriate to gently reframe. As you get comfortable, ask yourself, what am I holding that might not be true? What would clarity feel like in my body and my mind? Allow this to be your intention for this meditation. So as you begin to get comfortable with your spine straight and supported, just take a moment and allow yourself to arrive in this space. As you get comfortable, let your spine lengthen gently. Allow your body to feel supported by the earth beneath you, softening each point that your body comes in contact with the surface beneath you. Shoulders, perhaps the back of your head, arms, spine, pelvis and hips, perhaps your glutes, back of your legs and heels of your feet or bottom of your feet. Allowing the body to feel supported. Inhale. Exhale. Take a few more breaths here, inhaling, and with each exhale, soften just a little bit more, allowing the shoulders to move away from your ears, softening the jaw and the belly, softening your tongue. Begin to notice your breath as it flows in and out. No need to change, just witness. As you inhale, the body is expanding, and as you exhale, it releases. Just feel and notice the rise and fall of the cadence of your breath, the natural rhythm of your own energy. With each breath, invite stillness into your mind. Imagine it's just beginning to settle. In the same manner, a pond settles after a stone is thrown. The ripples travel farther and farther away, slowly quieting and dissipating. And as thoughts begin to quiet, invite and allow clarity to begin. Allow clarity to arise. Now gently become aware of the thoughts moving through your mind. Imagine each thought as a cloud in the sky. Notice the shapes of the clouds, how they move. Some clouds may be dark and heavy, others light and passing. And ask yourself, what kind of thoughts tend to repeat? What stories do I often tell myself about others? About myself? No need to fix or analyze. Just observe. You are not the clouds. You are the sky which hold them. You can allow them to go and float away. You created the shape of those clouds. You created the speed at which they float. You created the clear sky where there's no clouds at all. You can change the shape of the clouds. Bring to mind a recent situation where you felt judged, limited, or misunderstood. What was your perception of that moment? Notice any emotions that arise. Gently acknowledge them. Now ask yourself softly, is it possible that I am seeing through a filter? Could there be another way to interpret or see this? Allow yourself to breathe into the possibility that the perception is not fixed. It can shift. It can change. I'd like to now invite you to the opportunity to reframe your perceptions positively. You can begin to affirm gently from within. You can either silently repeat these words or allow them to settle in your body as if a warm light is filling your heart and your mind. By simply embracing or saying, I see with clarity and compassion. I release the stories that no longer serve me. I open to truth, not fear, not assumption. I trust the wisdom of my inner stillness. Continue to breathe. Rest the shoulders, allow them to fall further away from the ears. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. As you breathe, feel your aliveness, your presence. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the seer, the witness. From this still and centered place, may you begin to meet yourself and the world with greater truth, love, and spaciousness. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to take a moment to view any situation externally and ask, is this true? It's okay to realize there may be misconceptions. It's okay to just take a moment to look at it from another perspective or another way and to shift as needed. Take a deep breath in, inhaling peace. Exhale, clarity. Take another breath in, inhaling peace. Exhale, clarity. You can release your hands back to your lap. Take another breath in, inhaling peace. Exhaling clarity. Wiggle your fingers and toes and open your eyes. Bringing gentle awareness back to your surroundings. You can look around your space and smile, carrying a sense of calm, of seeing yourself externally from within. Continuing to breathe, fully awake and aware. Perception bias is the silent lens through which we view the world. It's a filter shaped by our experiences, beliefs, and emotional states. It colors our thoughts, affects our health, and guides our decisions, and often distorts our truth. When we live unconsciously, we react from illusion, not truth. However, we hold something very powerful. We hold the knowledge and the truth of knowing that we are not our thoughts. We are the awareness behind them and the awareness that holds them. And that we possess the power to stand still and to observe externally from within to make changes if it is not true. And we can do this through consistent practice, continuing to develop the inner stillness and clarity, learning to challenge distorted perceptions, return to love, truth, and balance. You don't have to believe everything you think. You can observe, question, and gently reframe your inner world. All through your breath, stillness, mindful movement, and self-inquiry. Learning to recognize when your minds are caught in the story of illusion. Knowing that gently challenging old patterns that may be rooted in ignorance or distraction. To shift and to do so by returning to a state of inner clarity, presence, and truth. When we see clearly, we choose wisely. When we release false perceptions, we free ourselves. Allow yourself to practice a daily opportunity to shift your lens, to soften judgment, to question the old story, and to open a more compassionate and truthful view of yourself and others. The clearer the mind, the more truthful the life. Namaste. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's insights help you on a personal journey towards a healthier, happier life. Don't forget to join every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for more self-care and holistic wellness tips. Before you go, make sure to comment, click the bell, like, and subscribe buttons for upcoming episode notifications. Be sure to always consult a medical professional before making any major changes regarding your health, diet, or routine. In the meanwhile, stay motivated, stay inspired, and remember, every step you take is one step closer to a better you. Until next time, keep flourishing, and as always, may all be well.